Should the New York Jets bring in David Bakhtiari with Aaron Rodgers if they were trying to trade for both, or if Bakhtiari gets released, whatever the case may be, should the Jets be trying to pursue David Bakhtiari? We're going to talk about it. Hey guys, what's going on? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we are talking about some rumors about David Bakhtiari and the New York Jets. Before we get started today, I wanted to mention you can follow on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast. The episode dropped yesterday for this week, and we talked some guys to watch for at the Senior Bowl for who the Jets should be interested in drafting. Also, there are 4 days left to get in the BUSR giveaway that I'm doing. We are giving away an $1,000 free bet to a lucky winner here on the YouTube channel. It is very, very easy to enter. All you have to do is hit busr.com/Matt, hit the link down below, sign up, make the minimum deposit, and that is it. You are entered to win. You'll receive a congratulatory call from BUSR and get featured in a video from yours truly. That sounds pretty good. And it's just in time for the big game, so you can get in any free bet you want, really, on that game. That sounds pretty good to me. Sign up down below in the description. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets has been a rumor now for a very, very long time, and understandably so, as they are in the market for a quarterback, specifically a veteran quarterback. And it seems likely that his days in Green Bay are numbered, as you know, he's getting up there in age, and also they want to eventually see what they have in Jordan Love, who they drafted in the first round. Now, 3 years ago, this is going to be his 4th year going into the league. Now, one would probably safely assume that if Aaron Rodgers is going somewhere new, he's going to want to bring some of his guys along with him. And one of his guys could potentially be his left tackle, David Bakhtiari. And David Bakhtiari has a really good reputation around the league. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He's a 2-time All-Pro. And the Jets have a hole at left tackle. So you may immediately think, Matt, this is perfect. 2 birds, 1 stone. You get your franchise left tackle. You get a quarterback. Don't you want both of them? And to that, I say no. I don't think I want David Bakhtiari, and I'll explain why. Over the last 3 years, he has played 11 games, 1 game, and 12 games. So he's missed at least 4 games in each of the last 3 years. The absolute last thing the New York Jets need is another injury-prone player. Constantly, year after year after year with this team, they always suffer catastrophic injuries and major impact injuries. And yet, for some reason, I continue to see people online who want to bring in David Bakhtiari. And again, in a vacuum, right? If you're just specifically looking at it, the player when he's on the field, when he's healthy, he's great. He is one of the better offensive linemen in football, but you're missing a very key piece, the availability factor. The Jets' biggest issue with their offensive line last year is injuries. And the reason why, the irony here is the reason why they're in the market for a new left tackle is because the left tackle that they drafted hasn't played in 2 years because he continues to get hurt. Do we not see the irony in that you want to replace a guy who's been injury prone over the last 2 years with a guy who's played 12 games in the last 2 years? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how that's not computing for some people. Again, Bakhtiari when on the field, is a really, really damn good football player. But he's been hurt the last 3 years and is on the wrong side of 30. You relied last year. We just went through it. You relied on a 38, 39-year-old Dwayne Brown, who pretty much played the entire year injured. Mekhi Becton missed the entire year. George Fant was injured and went on the field not consistent. And the rookie Max Mitchell, he had a season-ending injury. Well, not really an injury. He had blood clots, so he couldn't play the rest of the year. So you had 4 tackles last year, missed significant time with injury. And you want to get another injury-prone guy? Like, that just drives me crazy. So instead, maybe we could talk about some other options that Aaron Rodgers could bring with him during his time in the Green Bay Packers, or with the Green Bay Packers. I guess that my favorite option on the offensive side of the ball, I would say would be Alan Lazard, who is currently a free agent or will be a free agent in a couple of weeks, because that, to me, is the exact fit that the Jets need at the wide receiver position. More than likely, Corey Davis is going to get cut. They're going to free up $10.5 million by doing that, and you would be replacing Corey Davis by a younger and more available and better version of himself. Lazard is a big body guy, which is what the Jets need. They're kind of small at the wide receiver position. They need that big guy who could be a red zone threat, and he is a phenomenal run blocker, like a really damn good run blocker, which, as you know, in a West Coast scheme, you need your wide receivers to be able to block. And they have guys like that, like Denzel Mims is a good blocker. You know that for sure. But having another guy who can play on the outside like Lazard, and then you can move Elijah Moore full-time into the slot, and then you could have Garrett Wilson on the outside, and you can maybe mix and match them. Maybe you could put Garrett in the slot and Elijah outside a little bit, but that, to me, seems like that's the perfect fit. Another guy that we know Aaron absolutely loves is Randall Cobb. And while Randall Cobb is very up there in age, he's not the player that he once was. If you are cutting Braxton Berrios to free up the $5 million and you want to sign Randall Cobb to a $1 million a year deal to be the backup slot and wide receiver 5, okay. Yeah, you can sell me on that. You can sell me on that. I don't want him as a full-time role, because he's pretty much just a slot guy. And as I said, Elijah Moore to me has to be playing in the slot. But for depth and for someone who can come in, make a play on third down and be a fourth or fifth wide receiver option, I think that's more than okay. And I'm not going to get worked up about giving a guy $1 million or something like that. And with Braxton, he was extremely costly. You can cut him and have Zonovan Knight be your punt returner and kick returner at a fifth of the cost or whatever it is. He really disappointed this year. But looping this back to the original discussion, and should the Jets bring in David Bakhtiari with Aaron Rodgers? No, they shouldn't, because you can't. You learned last year that you can't rely on an injury-prone tackle to be your number one option, and you would be doing just that. If you bring in Bakhtiari, you're essentially saying, I want my left tackle. Bakhtiari's my left tackle, who's been hurt the last 3 years. And on the right side, it's a battle between Mekhi Becton, who's been hurt the last 2 years, and Max Mitchell, who's trying to recover from blood clots. I feel like you're just going to try to put yourself back in that same spot that you were in this past year with injuries. Please do not do it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Get after me on social media. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Once again, I am Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.